very good morning. I'm here in Doncaster on what has to be one of the stickiest days of the year so far. So I've come today just to have a walk down the disused railway and also just to have a look at a little bit of less known history about the railways in Doncaster. So Doncaster's got quite a rich railway history. And the railway station is quite well known. You've probably at some stage, even if you're not from Doncaster, changed trains there at some point, I would guess. The railway station that we know in the present day in Doncaster wasn't the only railway station in Doncaster, and we're going to go and find out a little bit more about that. And there is a little bit of a twist, so stick around and I'll fill you in. Doncaster's York Road station sat on the junction of the Great North Road and the A19, just to the north of the town on the outskirts of Barnsley. As we've seen at other locations, the various railway companies that built their own lines also built their own stations, often duplicating each other. The station was built on a spur just off the Hull and Barnsley and Great Central Joint Railway, and here's that twist I was telling you about. Although built ready for opening in 1916, the station didn't actually serve any passengers. No expense spared with this diagram, so I've just done a little bit of a shaded area there, just showing what's on the site these days. So here's an old photo of the old station. So I understand that the station sat in situ until around the 1960s, where it was mothballed. At the side of the old station sat the CF Booth's scrapyard, recognisable like the one at Rotherham by its huge red framework. Now from memory, the scrapyard was on site here until the expansion of the neighbouring York Road in around the 1990s. So here's a view roughly from where that photo was taken. So I had a good look around the site as it is today, and there's not a lot here. There's not a lot in terms of anything resembling a railway or any evidence or history. It's just a mixture of retail park and fast food outlets and the new expanded road system. So this is where the York Road on the left hand side there meets the A19. So there's been quite a lot of remodelling done to this road. The Great North Road, it's called York Road, where we are here. That was widened and remodelled about 20 years ago, 25 years ago now. So that's taken up quite a lot of space that the railway station was on. So just while we're on the subject of the old Great North Road, that's the original line of the road. These arches here. Yeah, but it was moved about 50 yards to the north. So now a dual carriageway. So that's the former Doncaster York Road station. So I'm going to carry on what's now the Trans-Pennine Trail and head up towards Warmsworth, where the old line crosses the River Don. So here's a view of Rail Map Online, just showing the Hull and Barnsley and Great Central Joint Railway, which is the pink one on this diagram. So I've just put an arrow where we're starting, and we're going to walk in roughly a southerly direction down to where you can see that it crosses the River Don. I just brought you off the track there. I don't know if you can see, there's some arches there over the dike. Now it's a little more overgrown than what I remember this being, but I actually went to school just directly behind here, so I've spent quite a bit of time playing down there in that dike, catching sticklebacks, etc. It looks very different today. So as we leave the station, we've got to come onto a triangle. So that way we've got Warmsworth, and straight on there we've got the line up towards Selby. So I'm saying I grew up literally 200 yards over in that direction, so this was my playground. So I moved to Sheffield when I was 18 to university, so I've come off my mountain bike many times on this path. Probably still got bits of gravel in my leg, but it used to be, I mean, it's a nice tarmac now, but it just used to be that cinder stuff that they used to put down. So it wasn't a very nice surface. It's certainly a lot better these days. So this is the old Watch House Lane bridge. I'm going to change of plan. What I'm going to do, I've come up the other side of the triangle, so I'm just going to go down just to have a look at something in front, and then I'm going to go out towards Warmsworth. So warm today. I've been going like 3 minutes, running for 3 minutes. It's just so sticky. We're due quite a lot of thunderstorms today, I understand. So you might be able to help me out with that York Road station. I've got very confused memories. So I grew up in the 80s and 90s around here, and my dad was a really keen railway and sort of local history photographer, you could say. He'd always taken photographs, black and white, and developing them. And I remember being very, very young, seeing that the old goods shed at the old station there, but I don't know if I remember actually seeing it and going in when it was disused, or if it was just on photographs. So I'm really not sure what exact year the old station shell was pulled down. So sadly my dad's no longer with us, so it would have been great to be able to sort of ask him questions about this now. It's only funny that you think of these things kind of years later. Incidentally enough, he actually had an allotment just to the right hand side of the line here. So this is bringing back some real memories. So it must be 20 odd years since I last went down this section. And when I went to big school, this was my cycle route to school. So massively different these days. It's all mud and cinder track, and when it was raining I used to get so dirty. I used to get done off my mum for getting wet when it was raining. So I said about my dad's old allotment, it's just there. It's actually still in the family. My sister still keeps that. So we're just coming up to what I think used to be a level crossing years and years ago. It's Pipering Lane, the little house there, and I'm going on a little bit about past memories and things like that. Got another link to this line. So just in that house there, I believe that was the old crossing, what you call crossing attendants house. And my mum used to live there for a number of years just after the war. And I do remember years and years ago, it's funny, you never listen when you're young, but I always remember she used to say that she used to come out and wave at the trains, and they used to get rides on the footplate. So yeah, again, it'd be great to be able to ask these kind of questions now and find things out. Yeah, so that's Pipering Lane crossing. So yeah, I wasn't going to do this bit up here, but I came up the other side of the triangle near the old station, and I thought I'd just come down and have a look. So I'm going to head up now back towards Warmsworth and back over towards the River Don. So I'm at the other tip of the triangle now, so that's where I've just come from, and that's the way round to the station. So we're heading off in that direction now, under the York Road. Although that I do realise from coming back here, they do have a great cycle network. You see, I think when I lived in Doncaster, everybody seemed to cycle everywhere. When I moved to Sheffield, that wasn't the case. I just assumed it was just because it's not as accessible. But I lived in Crooks in Sheffield. I don't know if anybody knows Crooks. You've got to be really into your cycling to live up there and be cycling. It's one of the highest points of the city. I'm not expecting to find much in the way of sort of left behind railway infrastructure on this route, to be honest. The thing I will point out, if you can see it through the trees, big red building there, furniture factors. Now you can see that from pretty much anywhere in Doncaster. You can see it on the bridge coming from town with a big white elephant on top. Now on old maps, I'll put an old map on screen, there was actually a siding for a warehouse, and I think that's the original siding that's still there. So yeah, the trees aren't really helping me there, getting a good view. but if you know the area, you'll know that building. So here's a turn off for Cusworth, Cusworth Hall. Information board being updated by the locals, I see. Noticing these few places I've been. Now, you know, like some, am I right in thinking these are some kind of sensors to measure the number of users on the trail? Sorry if you're watching this having your tea. You really don't want to be seeing me sweating all over the place. It's a combination of the humidity today and to be honest, lack of fitness. But I'm just coming up to Sprotbrough Road, and some interesting thing just to point out on the left hand side, this housing estate. So this was the site of Sprotbrough Foundry, which opened in the 1940s, and it made the track links for the tanks, so it played quite a crucial role in World War II. Obviously it's an housing estate now, but some of the streets on there are named after the tanks. We've got Challenger Drive, Cromwell Drive, Crusader Drive, I think. So they've kept a little bit of history there. Can't remember when the foundry closed. I'll put it on screen, but there was a siding going off the line into the foundry. This is the Sprotbrough Road bridge. Again, so someone's been having a few fires. CO2, what is that? And I know what CO2 is. Well, that's been on a few bridges now. There's a lot of things sort of on the side of the path around this section in this cutting. I suspect it's all been cascaded over the side from the houses up there. Bricks, bits of wood, prams, the odd kitchen appliance. So just joining us on the right hand side is this. This is the Doncaster avoiding line. So let me get up onto the bridge. So this is still an in use railway. Right at the start of the video, that big iron bridge on the first opening scenes, that was this line. So this is it's an avoiding line. It avoids Doncaster. So it was open primarily to take the traffic from the Wath goods yard that came over Woodhead over to the new port of Immingham, and it's still used today for that purpose. So it just means that the freight trains aren't having to go through Doncaster station. But this line did meet up with our disused line, just about 200 yards in front of us now. It's like someone's had a disagreement with a fridge freezer there. We're not actually too far away from the end of the line that we're looking at today. I can hear the A1 motorway, and I can hear the trains as well on the Doncaster to Sheffield line just in front. I keep seeing these signs with MM on. I'm not quite sure what that means. Does anybody know? So I said there wasn't a lot to see down here in terms of old railway infrastructure, but if I just fight my way through the brambles, we can see we can see the old those old U-shaped things that you get on the side of the lines, the cables and whatnot. Got some metal work down this one as well. It's like where the signal cables would have been attached, and a slightly longer one over there as well. Looks like that could have been a signal gantry. Let's try and wade through. So yeah, plenty of things down here. There's a cover off something there. If that's something recent or not. There's that's an old concrete sleeper. Yeah, I didn't think there'd be anything like that on show today, but it just shows what you can find if you sort of go looking off the beaten track. So we're running right next to the avoiding line now, and we're just coming up to what used to be Sprotbrough Junction. Now this is where the disused line that we're on joined on and left. It was a double junction. So there was two junctions with a signal box in the middle, but the bridges on this line have been long since filled in. So that's looking back from where we've just come, and it does feel, with the effort I've been putting in that last kilometre or so, we have been climbing, and we're just about to leave the darkness of the foliage, and it spits us out on this steel span bridge over the River Don. Put this safety fencing up now. That's not always been here. Let's get through there. So that side we've got the A1M motorway bridge over the River Don, and on this side, if I can get a better shot from over here, that's the bridge, that avoiding line. I am going to go down underneath onto the riverbank just to get another vantage point. So as soon as we come off of that big bridge, there's a little path underneath. It's a little quaint arch bridge going underneath. Just have a look at this side as well. We can get a bit closer to the bottom of the bridge. It's a huge steel structure. Wish I had trail shoes on. I've got my road going shoes on. There, no grip whatsoever. End up being in the River Don. I don't know if that's getting a good picture or if it's just a silhouette. Yeah, count the rivets. So this is as far as you can go on the old line. From here, it went underneath. It went underneath in a small tunnel, from what I can see from old maps, underneath the Doncaster to Sheffield current line and that avoiding line, just where those two lines meet. So I'm assuming at some stage around here there's going to be a blocked up tunnel or underpass or something like that. But I'm not aware that it is still there, or if it's just been absorbed into the landscape. There is that point where that avoiding line that we've seen along the way joins the Doncaster Sheffield line. So I will leave it there and I will scamper back to Doncaster where I've parked the car. I've had a few requests to come and do things in Doncaster. A couple of people have messaged me and said, if you're from Doncaster, why haven't you done any Doncaster things yet?
And if I'm being honest, I don't know that much about this area. I know this from being younger, but if you've got anything you want to point out to me, or any suggestions around this area, I'm all ears. It'd be great to come and find out some more disused lines and interesting places to explore around Doncaster. So drop me a message, or come and have a look at my Facebook page and get in touch there. But for now, I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching me pant and wheeze my way through this video. It's the first time I've done a video while running since the Monsell Trail back in May, so yeah, it's not easy. I do prefer walking, to be honest. So thanks again, take care, and I'll catch up with you again soon.